Blackwood Lake. A beautiful name, isn't it? But for the residents of the small town of Willow Creek, that name has become synonymous with a ghost, a cold mystery that has haunted them for 30 years. In 1994, on an autumn morning, a horrifying discovery changed everything. This is the story of Sarah Jenkins and her unexplained death. A cold case that remains open to this day. Can we finally uncover the truth? Sarah Jenkins, 18 years old, was an energetic, intelligent young woman about to start college. She lived with her small family in Willow Creek, a town that was known for its tranquility, where everyone knew everyone else. Sarah was an only child, the pride of her parents. She had many aspirations and dreams, but all of that vanished on the night of October 12th, 1994, when Sarah never returned home after a weekend party. The next morning, a passerby discovered Sarah's bicycle near the shore of Blackwood Lake. A large-scale search was immediately launched. And then, the worst happened. Sarah Jenkins' body was found floating in the lake. Authorities determined she had drowned. However, the autopsy revealed some suspicious signs. There were bruises on her wrists and a small wound on her head, inconsistent with a simple drowning accident. Police immediately began their investigation. Who was the last person to see Sarah? Where did she go after the party? Sarah's ex-boyfriend, Mark Thompson, was the first suspect. He had a history of violence and was known to have argued with Sarah at the party. But Mark's alibi was confirmed. Another witness, old Mr. Thomas, who lived near the lake, claimed he heard screams that night, but he was unsure of the direction or if it was a human voice. Notably, there were no obvious signs of struggle around the lake area, and none of Sarah's personal belongings were missing, except her phone. Sarah's phone, despite extensive searching, has remained untraceable to this day. With scarce evidence and fragmented testimonies, Sarah Jenkins' case gradually reached a dead end. Many theories were put forward. Was this a tragic accident where Sarah slipped and fell into the lake? But what about the bruises and the head wound? Or was there a mysterious attacker who forced her? But no significant signs of struggle were found. Despite hundreds of interviews and thousands of hours of searching, the case remained an unsolved mystery. Sarah Jenkins' file was officially classified as a cold case in 1996. 30 years have passed, and Sarah Jenkins' ghost still haunts the town of Willow Creek. Her family continues to search for justice, but the answers remain hidden beneath the cold waters of Blackwood Lake. This case is not just a personal tragedy, but a chilling reminder of unsolved mysteries and of perpetrators who may still walk free. What do you think about this case? Were there any clues the police missed? Leave your comments below. If you want to explore more cold cases, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Cold Case Files, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future episodes. The Appalachian Trail, a dream journey for millions. Thousands of miles of pristine beauty, of solitude and absolute freedom. But for some, it's where dreams turn into nightmares. In the summer of 2018, a determined young woman embarked on this path, but she never returned. Her name was Emily Davison. Emily's disappearance has become one of the greatest mysteries of the Appalachian Range, a cold case we will now explore together. Emily Davison 24, was a former U.S. Navy veteran, recently discharged. She was a nature lover, passionate about adventure, and had planned to conquer the entire Appalachian Trail. Emily began her journey in April 2018, diligently hiking hundreds of miles, keeping a journal, and regularly updating her family via satellite phone. The last contact her family received was from a trail hostel in name of small town near disappearance area on July 15th. After that, a chilling silence began. When Emily failed to make contact for several days, her family reported her missing to the police. A large-scale search was launched, involving rescue teams, volunteers, and even drones. Days later, a hiker discovered Emily's backpack and shoes unusually abandoned, about 100 meters off the main trail. All her personal belongings were intact, except for her satellite phone, which was missing. No signs of struggle, no bloodstains, and no other footprints besides Emily's were found near the area. This only deepened the mystery. Investigators and experts proposed many theories, but none were truly convincing. Theory 1. Emily got lost and succumbed to exhaustion. Although Emily was experienced, the Appalachian terrain is treacherous and weather can change abruptly. However, her leaving her backpack and shoes behind was puzzling. Theory 2. Emily was attacked by a wild animal. This is a terrifying possibility, but usually there would be clearer physical evidence. No major signs were found. Theory 3. Emily was abducted or encountered a stranger. This is the most frightening theory. Was there a predator lurking in the deep woods? Several other unexplained disappearances on the Appalachian Trail have also occurred, increasing this concern. Police interviewed several other hikers and local residents living nearby, but no testimony was sufficient to shed light on the truth. 5 years have passed since Emily Davison disappeared. Although the searches have ceased, her family continues to hope and appeal to the public for help. They have spent thousands of hours searching themselves, distributing flyers, and participating in online forums, trying to find any missing piece. Emily Davison's case remains a cold case, a wound that may never heal for her family and those who loved her. It's also a chilling reminder of what can happen when we venture into the wilderness. Will Emily Davison's ghost ever be found? Emily Davison's disappearance remains a big question, a haunting echo in the majestic Appalachian Mountains, a mystery that not only torments her family, but also haunts anyone who hears this story. Have you heard of other mysterious disappearances on the Appalachian Trail? What are your thoughts on Emily's fate? Share your opinions in the comments below. If you found this story compelling and want to explore more cold cases, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Cold Case Files, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future episodes. Elm Street, a quiet road where happy families built their homes. The Miller family was the ideal picture. John, Sarah, and 2 well-behaved children. But on the night of November 14th, 2007, that perfect facade shattered when a horrific murder occurred right inside their own home. This is the story of the Miller family's Last Supper, a mystery of crime and betrayal hidden behind closed doors. John Miller, 45, was a successful accountant. His wife Sarah, 42, was a beloved kindergarten teacher. They had 2 children, Lily, 15, and Tom, 12. Neighbors often spoke of the Millers with admiration. They were kind, always willing to help others, and had a life that seemed to have nothing to complain about. But like every home, there are secrets hidden behind the walls. And these secrets, one day, would be exposed. On that fateful night, November 14th, the Miller family had a normal dinner like any other day. No one could have imagined that it would be the last supper for one family member. The next morning, when Lily didn't show up for school, a friend went to the house and discovered something horrific. Sarah Miller was dead in the living room with multiple injuries. The house showed no signs of forced entry and no valuable items were missing. This quickly pointed suspicion towards those inside the house. Although John Miller appeared grief-stricken and cooperative, detectives began to find suspicious signs. John and Sarah's seemingly perfect marriage was on the verge of collapse. Sarah had just discovered that John had been having an affair with a colleague for months. Not only that, but John was also deeply in massive gambling debt that Sarah was unaware of. A major argument erupted that evening. John tried to convince Sarah not to divorce, but she was resolute. And that's when things spiraled out of control. Their children testified that they heard shouting that night, but then everything went eerily silent. John claimed he was asleep and heard nothing. During the crime scene examination, police found a crucial piece of evidence: a wedding ring found under the rug near Sarah's body. The ring belonged to John Miller. Furthermore, a deeper forensic analysis found John Miller's DNA under Sarah's fingernails, indicating a struggle had occurred. Faced with irrefutable evidence, John Miller finally confessed. He admitted that in a fit of rage, he murdered his wife after a fierce argument over his debts and affair. He tried to stage the scene to look like a robbery, but he couldn't erase every trace of the truth. John Miller was sentenced to life imprisonment. Their two children, Lily and Tom, lost both parents on the same night, a tragedy that nothing can compensate for. The Last Supper on Elm Street is a horrifying reminder that sometimes the greatest dangers lurk within our own homes, behind closed doors. Secrets, no matter how well hidden, will eventually be exposed. What are your thoughts on this case? What lessons can we learn? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Cold Case Files, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future episodes. When night fell, a vibrant city became eerily silent. Not because of a curfew, but because a shadow was lurking in the dark, spreading terror. Within 6 months, 3 victims fell. No signs of forced entry, no witnesses, just brutality and a chilling trail. Footprints in the shadows. This is a story of the hunt for the Night Hunter, a serial killer who plunged New York into a state of panic. The first victim, Michael Chen, 35, a programmer, found deceased in his apartment in January 2005. No signs of forced entry, no valuables missing. 2 weeks later, Sarah Miller, 28, a nurse, also died in her apartment, same method. And by March, David Lee, 40, a teacher. The pattern of murders was clear. A serial killer was active, leaving few traces. Fear gripped the city. Everyone wondered who would be the next victim and how could they escape the Night Hunter. A special task force was formed. Criminal psychologists were brought in. They realized the killer had a specific modus operandi. He only struck at night, when the victim was alone in their home, with no excessive violence, and seemed to take nothing but a small souvenir from each victim. The criminal profile suggested the killer was likely a white male, aged 25 to 40, reclusive, possibly with a history of violence or psychological disorders. However, no clear fingerprints or DNA were found at the crime scenes. The killer was extremely careful. The investigation stalled for months. The fear grew until a small, almost overlooked detail changed everything. At the third crime scene, an officer discovered a tiny blue fabric fiber lodged under victim David Lee's fingernail. This fiber did not belong to David or anything else in the apartment. Forensic analysis showed the fiber was rare, used in a specialized security uniform. Combined with blurred security camera footage from near the second victim's home, showing a man in a security uniform walking in the area on the night of the murder, police had a new lead. Information about the uniform and the area of operation led police to a private security company. And there, they found Robert Peterson, 38, a security guard who had worked in the vicinity of all three victims. Upon searching Robert's apartment, police discovered a horrifying collection: rings, watches, and other small items from the victims. His uniform shirt also had a missing blue fabric fiber. Robert Peterson was quickly arrested. He confessed to all the crimes, stating that he was drawn to the victim's solitude and needed to collect items from them to satisfy a morbid obsession. He was an ordinary person, an unnoticed neighbor, but he harbored a chilling darkness. Robert Peterson, the night hunter, was sentenced to life imprisonment. The fear gradually subsided, but the scars he left on the city will never heal. Footprints in the Shadows is a chilling reminder that evil can lurk anywhere, even in the most seemingly ordinary people. Always be vigilant and trust your instincts. What are your impressions of this case? Do you think there were any signs we could have recognized earlier? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Cold Case Files, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future episodes.